Alrighty, welcome back. Got quads today, should be good. Didn't get my cardio done this morning because I forgot towels, both to use on the treadmill for sweat and afterwards for my shower. So there's no cardio this morning, but I left. Got to work earlier because I did it just before work. So I'm getting to the gym a bit earlier, which is good. So I'll be able to do my cardio hopefully afterwards, or probably just do the bike again. Got quads today, which should be good. Just ate a bunch of food, so feeling pretty fueled. Because I had to leave earlier, the meals were slightly out, so I had tried to have breakfast slightly later, and then had lunch just now, so feeling okay. I'm interested to see how today goes. A little bit more energy now that I need to cardio this morning. I'm tired just from the sake of being tired, just from work and the usual life stuff, so that's nothing different, but I'm not as physically exhausted. And we're doing cardio in the morning, so it's looking like this week is majority exercise bike week, so that's fine with me. But I do like the walks because I'm going from a pretty a REM sleep, waking up, getting ready, and then doing an hour's walk. Like, it makes me feel like I'm working for it, like I'm working to really get into that fat burning zone and maintaining it. It is an hour, it's long, but you should just watch YouTube videos or like an anime series or something, so the time goes by quick. But then when I'm doing the bike, because it's after the gym, I have to be careful of what I watch, because I'm in public and I'm going to be, if I'm watching an anime and then suddenly out of nowhere there's a bit of fan service, that's going to be a bit awkward. Same with the YouTube videos, or if it's, a lot of, the YouTube videos I watch, they come with captions that the person's put in. So if that says something a bit interesting, and someone's walking past and reading it, then it's a bit like, oopsies. But the other thing as well is that because after my normal weight session, my heart rate is pretty high anyway, just from working out, is going to be relatively at a good spot. So me doing the bike, like, it's what I did yesterday, and I had to go so excruciatingly slow. It was bored, but I was in that kind of fat burning zone. I was in that kind of 130 to 135 average, which is where you want to be. That was fine, but it was just more, it was just so boring because I had to cycle so ridiculously slow. Because like what happened the day before, or on Tuesday or Monday, I cycled at what I thought was a good speed, and it made me feel like I was, having to really work for, getting slightly out of breath, or, making it feel, worth it. And then my heart rate was, 150, 160 average, which is, that's cardio endurance heart rate, not fat burning heart rate. So it's like, well, that felt better for me physically and mentally. And this one's just like, this is so boring. But again, if I'm getting the numbers and I'm getting what I need out of that exercise, albeit I'm a bit bored, then that doesn't matter. That's moot. I've got one reason for doing the bike, and that's to increase my fat loss burning in terms of in the form of typical cardio machines or activities. So it's annoying that it's boring, but it is what it is, and that's fine. It's just saying I've got to accept. I'm going to do it today, and tomorrow I'm going to make sure that I remember treadmill at an incline walk Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Monday and Fridays doing the exercise bike for about 30 minutes. And I reckon that should probably be enough. Oh, sorry, so tired. That should probably be enough for now. Just trying to keep my fat low. I'm not going into a cut, but it's just to keep those activities going. So that way, eventually, when I do want to do a cut, which ideally will be through that kind of end to like that middle to end of winter. So for Australia, it's that kind of, I guess, kind of end of July, maybe early August. So I want to try and maybe bulk or even maintain through these next 4 or 5 months, and then kind of once that kind of August period hits, that kind of first week, then we try and smash the cut. So then it's kind of August, September, October and November, and I'm also going away then as well, so that should hopefully help. We're trying to eat less, so still trying to eat good, high protein, but just reducing the fat down, and because I'm going on holiday into a winter environment, hopefully it promotes me to try and get to the gym, because naturally speaking, my body will want to try and retain onto the fat. So hopefully if I've already started on the cut, it's more of I'll keep my calories low and try and keep my fat low, but I might have to start doing some extra stuff on that trip to promote fat loss, because what my body's going to do naturally is, as I said, it's going to try and retain it. So that way when I come back from that trip in kind of October, I can do the rest of October and then kind of that November period, get back into it and, try and finish off the cut. And then that way over summer, that kind of, end of, middle to end of November, December and January, and towards the kind of start of February, I can enjoy hopefully being on a cut and being quite lean. And then just try and do a repeat. So then do kind of February, March, April, May, like where I'm at now, doing a bit of a recomp, a bit of a maintenance, and then June, July, August, June and July start, tweaking a few things and start working out, increasing cardio, starting to work out what my average calorie intake is, and then just go from there. Because at the moment my average that I'm comfortable eating, so I'm not overeating, so I'm not stuffing my face, but I'm also not under eating where I'm leaving each meal going, I'm pretty hungry. Doing that for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and at the moment my average after tracking for probably about nearly 3 weeks is looking about on the 3,000 calorie mark, which is pretty good considering that this time last year I was trying to push my bulk to 32 to 3,600. So sitting on 3,000 is pretty good, especially as like a bit of a recovery as well, from the diet. So then the goal would be is that, if I'm sticking around that 3,000, I might try and up it a little bit, maybe for the next month, maybe to 3,200. And then from there, I'll try to start bulking it for that June, July, August period. And then, like I said, that kind of start of August, or even middle of August, then start doing the cut and then chipping it away. I'll have to try and work it out, because each time I speak of it out loud, I actually want to adjust it, because ideally speaking, it's a 9 and 3 is what I've been told. 9 months bulk, 3 months cut, ish. And those numbers are not my numbers I just said before, probably don't add up the best. So even if I start bulking kind of from, well, it's the kind of start of May now, so even if I do, maybe June, July, and then a little bit of August on a bulk. So that way, it's pretty much been from February to August, so about 5 to 6 months of a recon plus a mini bulk, and then or even just do all of August and then kind of beginning of September start the cut, so that way it's over when I'm on holiday, so it's kind of like it's basically a month of free kind of eating less. Could do it that way because that's September, October, November, and then kind of that December period, so about 3 to 4-ish months of a cut, and this time kind of really sticking to it. Could do that. Otherwise I might also think about including August as well, like I said originally, to try and do it a bit harder, a bit harsher, and try to really gun it out, because I tried it before and it failed pretty miserably. Essentially all I did was just increase my cardio and try to reduce the amount that I was eating, which worked. I got rid of some of the snacks, but what I should have done is slowly got rid of all the snacks and reduced the volume. Keep the protein high, but really start chipping the volume down, which is something I don't think I did well, or hardly did properly at all, and I think that's what hindered my cut. The bulk was easy, I just ate a shit ton of food. The cut was not good, so I want to try and stick to it and really do it properly, because it'd be good, because it'd be good to do it naturally as well, because obviously ideally I'd want to try and keep as much muscle mass as possible, and the main thing is I just want to keep my strength. You work so hard to build your strength up on so many different exercises. You do a cut and then all your strength goes. It just feels like a spit in the face. Like, yeah, cool, I look nice lean, but now you're doing half the weight you were doing before, and I don't know, it just can feel like a gut punch sometimes. But I train hard enough anyway, so I don't think that should affect me too much. But it is a consideration, It is something to think about. But we'll try it. We'll see what happens. I'll try and give it a good shot this year, and if it doesn't go well, or if all else fails, then at least I tried. And then that way I can just do a bit of more maintenance dieting from here on out, but won't know until you try. So I guess that's my mindset going into it. I really do want to try and give it a proper go. Seeing how that runs, but yeah, I'll think about it a bit more. There's nothing going to change for the meantime. But yeah, once I kind of work it out a bit more practically, then yeah, we'll then try and stick to something and plan it out and schedule it. So yeah, we'll go from there. Anyway, so just wanted to go on a bit of a rant. It just came to mind. But yeah, leave it here. And yeah, I'll catch you in a bit when we start doing some quads. So I will see you soon. Alrighty, quads are done. It was a very interesting session. So, started off, I was waiting for single leg. Couldn't get it. I was waiting around for about 15 minutes. And then when the guy that was on it got up as I was walking over, mind you, I was a fair distance away, someone had just walked around the corner from it, so it was empty, and hopped on it literally as I was about 3 meters away. So I was like, fuck. So hopped on, hack squat, and just warmed up, just doing single leg and just doing stretches, just trying to get good blood flow to my knees, which worked, and slowly made my way up, and then got PB, so it's 80 kilos per side, so 4 plates per side, which was really good. Did that for 1 working set. I was going to do for 2, but I talked for too long and then rested for too long. That lactic acid built up, which is why you saw on that next set that I got someone to help me, or basically be there as like a backup spotting me, because I lowered the weight down to 60 and then hit depth and then tried to get up, and my legs just didn't want to do anything. So I was glad I had him there. The reps were a bit meh. They all went through my quads, which was good, but not as controlled as I would have liked. But hey ho, got my 8 reps, so I'm happy. Then did single leg, but obviously by that time my quads had fully warmed up, so it was kind of no point doing them, but I was just more doing them just to make sure that I'm keeping that exercise consistent. Then jumped onto leg press, and that went fine, but because I was starting to run out of time, because I was a bit time poor today, even though I got there early, I increased the working sets on leg press, so for more volume, and then cut out the normal pause leg extensions with sissy squats, and then hopped on the bike for half an hour, which went well. Heart rate sat at a good level. I'm still sussing it out at the moment, because the session I did before, I was hitting too low. I was in like the low 130s, almost 128 to 129. It's a bit too low. And then this session, because obviously I was doing legs, they were a bit warmer, so I could up the resistance slightly, but slowed it down. And then that one on my watch that I kept looking at, I was in like the mid 130 range, which is where I wanted. But based on Garmin, my average was 140 flat. So that's slightly too high. So it's like my range is so vast now. So I don't know. I think it's just something that I've got to play with and kind of almost get used to the feeling of doing the bike, and being able to just kind of almost lock my brain into just doing the same speed, if that makes sense. But then I've got to cater it, because then when I come straight from doing working sets into the bike, my heart rate's going to be higher. So it's I got to slow the speed down and kind of just almost maintain a good, almost half resting heart rate. But then as that goes away, as my heart rate starts to kind of balance a bit, then I've got to either up the resistance or up the speed slightly. But it's trying to moderate that is the hard bit, which I did notice, because then at the start I was doing it nice and slow, keeping a good pace, heart rate staying in the mid 130s, which is really good. And then as my heart rate started to kind of settle a bit, then that's when I started dropping into the 120s, so then up the resistance, but then couldn't find the right balance, so then it would either spike into the low 140s, or be sitting in that mid to high 130s. So it's kind of a balancing act. It's almost like after 10 minutes I've got to then slightly increase the intensity, like the resistance, and then next 10 minutes increase it slightly. So could think about doing that. But yeah, it's just playing around with it really. But at the end of the day, it's kind of, I was in that heart rate zone, which is where I wanted. So yeah, don't have too much to complain about, but yeah, everything was in the wrong order today. It wasn't the ideal session. I'm happy with the PB I got. My quads are destroyed, which is really good. But yeah, it's just the session could have gone a lot better, could have been structured a lot better. But again, it's just that kind of, it's that devil's advocate. Well, not devil's advocate. It's the double-edged sword of, I got to the gym early and wanted one specific machine to warm up on. Couldn't get it. Was waiting too long. Yapped too long about how the session was going to different people, and then threw everything out. Got a good PB. Managed to pull the session back, but it wasn't ideal. So it was good, but I think going into the next session, I think I just got to be a bit more strict with my the times that I take in between sets, my breaks. I think I got to just say to people, say to myself, let me just do this quick set and we'll chat after. Because I measure my breaks based on feeling, so how my body feels. Sometimes it feels good, maybe a minute or two after a hard working set, and then I'll just smash it out again. Sometimes if it's something a bit more intense, like squats or heavy overhead shoulder, sometimes the more heavy and fatiguing exercises, I need a bit of a longer break. But for legs, it's just more about, you need to maintain a certain level of pump. I don't know if that's the right term, but essentially you don't want the lactic acid to build up too much or rest for too long, where your legs go from being pumped full of blood and that the muscles are starting to work to then nothing, to just resting. Because then when it hits that stage, then you kind of get like what happened with me, where your legs just kind of just give up, and they're just like, well, I just expended 110% and you've rested me for 10 minutes, so screw you. You want it to be like, I expended 100%, I've recovered 50 or 60% of it, now let's hit the next one. And you do that for 3 working sets, and then have a good break in between your exercises, or like, a good enough break, and then you just hit the next one. But like I said, I get sessions like this where I just chat for a bit too long and kind of lose track of time, and yeah, wasn't ideal, but yeah, we did pull it back. I kept the intensity as high as I could, but yeah, just something to note of next time. I think it just would have been nice or more satisfying that the session I hit a really good PB, like a really hard PB, you know, an RPE 9 on hack squat. It would have just been more satisfying that I was able to do the rest of the session or complete the session as structured, than not so, you know, I don't know. But, oh well, is what it is. You know, we'll just take that into account next time. Tomorrow I've got to be really time sensitive because I've got a lot on, but idea is that I'm going to do my hour in the morning as normal, and then go to the gym, do shoulders and chest, and then depending on time, then just then finish off. I'm hoping I can get everything done. I'll have my gym partner with me. I have CC Lab with me, so hopefully we can try and get the session done quick. If anything, I might bin off rear delts and just do overhead Smith, dumbbell lateral, incline chest, cable cross, pec deck, and then normal cable, and then that should be good. Yeah, I just think rears, there's too much fucking around, and it just didn't work. Like, I'll see how I go, because I've got CC Lab there, so he might be able to actually help me figure it out, but I don't know, it was just didn't work. It was just full of shit. But yeah, we'll give it some time. But yeah, it just was not ideal exercise for that day. But you know, sometimes new exercises aren't meant to feel smooth or perfect. You know. Sorry, bit of traffic. You know, it's the same with hack squats. Like, I felt like absolute horse shit when I first did it, and it was absolute pain and tension in my knees. But now it's feeling smooth because I know how to work with it. So maybe it's the same with that. You know, I just gotta push through that awkward feeling, fix up my form a bit, and then I'll be golden. But as it stands, I feel like it's a wasted exercise where I could just jump onto cable rears instead. You know, something that I know that works, something that I know that has helped me develop growth in that area, than doing something new. But you know, it's also that thought of, you know, your muscles get used to doing the same shit all the time. You know, you do have to do something new, try something new, and shock the muscle. And if I just keep doing rear delt flies on the cable, they're just going to get used to that, and you know, they might not grow. So I do need to change something up, but I don't know, it's not working at the moment. So we'll stay tuned, because I do want to try and give it a shot. But I don't know, for this session at least, because I'm time sensitive, I'm more likely to boot it off. Come next week when I'm not time sensitive and I've just, you know, can do a normal session, then yeah, I'll keep it in and just try it. But yeah, we'll see how we go. But anyway, I'll leave it here. Thanks for watching. So it was a fucking mismatch of a session, but yeah, it was a good PB. My quads are feeling sore. Let's hope I can walk tomorrow. But anyway, I'll leave it here. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow for some shoulders and chest. So I'll catch you then.